So I'm trying to finish a book by Nassim Taleb called Fooled by Randomness. I think this guy is probably somewhat popular of an author. Like some authors like Naval, he was like an entrepreneur and business speaker. Um, he basically said, "Oh yeah, Nassim Taleb is one of the best business writers. You should read all his books." I've read like portions of it. I think when I'm reading, yeah, it can be a hard to concentrate at times. It depends on the time of day. I tend to read better in the mornings. I think this is highly dependent on the person. Like, I definitely think some people class themselves as night owls. I'm probably more of a morning person. But anyway, like, I was gonna explain what I've learned. I read he has a couple books. One's called Fooled by Randomness. He also has one called Black Swan, Skin the Game, and something else. There's a fourth book, but I think all are probably a bit decent. I think from what I can remember, because I read it in like January, Skin the Game is mostly talking about how a lot of intellectuals, like academics, will talk about stuff, or people will talk about things without having skin in the game. Like they don't have money or time invested in the field, which does make sense. And he has this saying called intellectual idiots, meaning people who are very academically strong, but like they're not necessarily smart in how they play, I guess, the game of life or other things. I'm just like, and there's a lot of examples in his book. One of which I think it's probably most memorable is that he says the person who's a surgeon but does not look like a surgeon has to work harder to become a surgeon. So he's more likely to be better as a surgeon. I don't think it's always true, but it depends on the situation. Where it's probably true. I don't know what the data is around it, but so you've had two surgeons, but the guy who looks like a surgeon, like everything about him just looks like a surgeon, and you have another guy who looks like a butcher, does not look like a surgeon. The other guy who looks like a butcher has to work harder to become a surgeon, which I found interesting because it's very I feel like it's very left. I don't know, left field is the right word. It's like very not what I think, but I think it's probably true. And so you should pick the guy who does not look like a surgeon because he's probably the better surgeon because he had to work harder to get to his position. It's interesting because I would have picked the guy who looks like a surgeon, but it's probably like some sort of bias in how we pick things as well.